What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see, we're in a different environment. I'm outside. There's a lake on the other end. You just have to trust me and take my word for it, because I don't want to flip it around, screw everything up. But it's a nice day, so I decided to bring the videos outside. But as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about why your relationship or situationship, and by the way, sorry for the wind. I don't know if it's going to mess up the audio. We'll find out later on. Why your relationship is going slow, almost maybe at a snail's pace, and how to speed it up. Okay, so jumping right into this, ladies, what you have to understand is that humans are very, very, very resourceful, and we're very logical too. So if you keep this premise, okay, if you keep this idea throughout the video, it's going to click faster, easier, okay, the stuff I'm telling you. When you're talking to a guy and he likes you and he's on the same page as you, it makes a lot of sense for a guy not to play games, for a guy to double down on the investment, and for a guy to get from casual to committed as fast as possible, right? So you're not going to have these games. You're not going to have the sporadicness. You're not going to have these situations where you're wondering what he's doing and there's going to be uncertainty and a lack of clarity and things like that. That's not going to happen. You're talking to a guy who likes you and wants the same thing as you. This means you are going to progress pretty smoothly towards a relationship. Men are very resourceful. I know to save on resources as a guy to get from point A to point B, it's not to play games. Okay? Now, on the other end, what this video is about, if you're talking to a guy who that's not happening, it was going well and then it slowed down, or it was going well and sporadic, or there's times where maybe you have to bring up something and he's like, yeah, okay, my bad, I'll fix it. There's a reason why. And there's several reasons why. For one, he could be taking you for granted. A lot of the times, a lot of my clients who come to me, they'll always ask me, does the guy like me? Is the guy actually interested? Is this a whole game? Well, yes and no. And liking and interest are, when I explain them, it's a different thing than when you explain them, or from what you intend them to be. So when you're saying it, you're saying, does he like me? As in, are we on the same page in terms of a relationship? That I'm not sure. Probably not if this stuff is happening. But does he like you? And are the things he's saying, such as you're beautiful, you're awesome, our connection, all this, is it genuine? Probably, okay? But if there is a hiccup somewhere along the way from casual to committed, there's a reason why. He knows that, okay? He knows the reason. You don't. That's what you're trying to figure out. But if a guy's taking you for granted, it's a very resource-esque type of thing, meaning, why would I continue to invest my resources into a woman if I know I have her? Now, of course, this is the mindset of a man. Goes back to, I guess the answer here is no, he doesn't like you in terms of a relationship, because that is the mindset of a man who doesn't want a relationship. That is a man who thinks, so when a guy's taking you for granted, what he's really thinking, ladies, is, okay, I secured the bag. I got her. I got what I wanted. She's cool though. I like talking to her, but you're too easily accessible. He's getting these assets so easily that he doesn't need to double down and invest and secure them, because he feels like he has secured them. So again, we're very resourceful. What does he do? He takes these resources and he puts them elsewhere, into other women. It's just the male sexual strategy. Unless he wants a relationship, his sexual strategy is variety, it's quantity, okay? And then out of the quantity, he picks the quality when he's ready for a relationship. So that's one reason. Another reason could be, hey, maybe there's a better option out there. If it stops suddenly and he's not cutting you off, though, and you feel like this guy's an F-boy, he's still on the dating apps, he's still doing all these, like these going out, all like, there's probably another woman involved. And I tell women this all the time, that when you're talking to a guy, don't ever believe the exclusivity talk. Do not ever believe I'm only talking to you. Now, that doesn't mean he's lying. he could be only talking to you. But if you're not in a ladies, you have to understand game theory, like we call it the prisoner's dilemma. There's no reason for him to abide by these rules if he's single. It would actually hurt him to do so. Meaning, if you and I are having the talk of being exclusive, I get the advantage by saying, yeah, let's be exclusive. And you're actually talking to nobody else, okay? And you're not talking to anybody else, but I am, right? So now I don't have to worry about competition, other men, you pulling away, you having second, because you're investing in me. You're investing in me. So I win that over. Whereas I say, yeah, I'm being exclusive to convince you to follow this, I guess, this structure or this agreement we're having, but I'm actually talking to other people. I gained the one up. So that could be another reason why it's slowing down. One of the main reasons, though, I would say the third one, this is probably the main one, is you're talking to a guy who got in his head. Now, all guys who are getting in their head aren't emotionally unavailable. Sometimes they just move fast, they bite off more than they can chew, and they realize, oh, that's not a good idea, or I'm not sure, or they didn't really process everything correctly, or it's as fast as it has been going, right? And then he starts to have second thoughts. Now, if he cuts you off after that, okay, well, then you just worked the one. If he slows it down but keeps you around, what you have to understand at that point, ladies, depending on how long he keeps you around, like if he doesn't transition into a relationship, well, then he's keeping you around for the assets, okay? This is why I tell women at 6 to 8 dates or 6 to 8 weeks, right? It's time to have the talk. I don't care who has it. Someone has to have the talk. And this kind of segues into like, well, what do you do when it slows down? I am a big believer, ladies, in prevention, meaning you first have to control context, meaning the things you guys do and say that creates the vibe of the relationship, okay? It's very important. People just ignore this stuff and kind of go with the flow, whatever that means. But you have to control the context, the variables, okay? Slow it down, make the man chase, make the man think you like him, but he doesn't have you. He still has to win you over. You're still on the market, okay? He still has to do more. So prevention, number one, is key. The second thing I always say, and again, I'm beating a dead horse here, you have to understand if you guys are on the same page or not. You have to ask those questions, and you have to do your detective work. Meaning, if you're talking to a guy, ladies, this is just a heads up. If you're talking to a guy who wants the same thing as you, great. It doesn't stop there, though. First off, if he doesn't want the same thing as you, this is going to happen, right? Like, it's going to slow down. He's going to get his head, he's going to freak the fuck out. So don't even exercise and bother with that. But if you're talking to a guy who says, yeah, I want a relationship, okay, cool. How can I trust you, though? Like, you're only as good as your word. I know you're saying that, but what evidence do I have that proves that? So you have to look at his dating history, what I call detective work. When was his last relationship? Was he ever in a serious relationship? Was he cheated on? Who dumped who in the last relationship? Right? Like all those type of things. How long was it? Maybe I said that. But you have to take those things into consideration, okay? And build what I call a character profile to know if, like, how close his actions and words are lining up. But most importantly, ladies, if a guy is slowing down, you have to, here's the answer, man. You have to call it out. A lot of people have this notion, and I take blame for this, like other dating coaches should too, because a lot of people put this stuff out there. It's just in social media, and I regret putting it out there. This whole, not no contact, because I always taught no contact was the last option, right, after communicating and stuff. But this whole like pull away power dynamics are very important, but it's such an advanced concept that I'm actually thinking of making a course on it in the future, because it's so advanced and so powerful that I think women need to master it, at least understand it, what's happening, because no matter what, power dynamics are happening subconsciously or not, whether you know it or not, subconsciously. But I wish more people would communicate and call it out, not in a evil, like, hey bro, what's up? Like, what are you doing? Like, is this how you treat a woman you like? Is this how you treat a woman who says she wants a relation? Or when you tell a woman she wants a relationship, is this what I'm going to expect from being your girlfriend? You don't want to say it like that, but you want to call it out and say, hey, what's up? What's going on? I feel this. I feel that. Basic like conflict resolution skills, and see what a guy says. Okay, I always tell my clients. I actually told a client this yesterday, that a man, the signs are there. It's funny how I know it all the time. When women call me and they're talking, I'm not even the one fucking sleeping with the guy. I'm not even the one going on dates with him. But I listen to their conversation and I listen to her story. And I'm like, yeah, that's I read their text, she'll send me screenshots. I'm like, yeah, this is what's happening and here's why. And I can point it out. The signs are always there, ladies. This is why I always say it's better to communicate, because the more you get him fucking just vomiting, like the more you get him saying and doing, and then you're really good at looking at it like I am, and kind of like looking at it from the beginning to the end and everything in between. Like, you see the signs, you see the patterns. Okay, so with all that being said, ladies, let me know if you like it out here. I feel like I'm quiet, but I hope not. If you want to get a session with me, links down below. If you want to get my guides that talk about this kind of stuff, I have a guide on power dynamics, but I'm going to make something bigger in the future, and that guide's gonna be part of it. Again, links are down below. 6 guides. I love you all. Take care and peace.